You know, as human beings, we have a tendency to get attached to things. Each of us are raised a different way, and so we grow up with different values and different things, and we become attached to them because it's what we've known for years. When someone comes along to say what we're attached to is bad, we have a tendency to take it to heart and get angry. The purpose of this video is to examine why we act this way and why we also tend to be hypocrites. This is just my own personal thoughts and feelings, so feel free to take this with a grain of salt. In order to make this video, I have confessions to make. When I was a kid, I was fascinated with things like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I also loved Studio Ghibli films like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. Also, I should confess that when I was 19 years old, I got into Magic the Gathering. I loved fantasy strategy card games like that, and I had lots of fun with them. And for a time I was into Dungeons and Dragons, but I never could get anyone to play with me. I wasn't a believer back then, as I didn't become a believer until I was 20, back in 2014. I do know plenty of Christians that like the same things I grew up with. At the same time though, on the other side of the spectrum are Christians that consider things like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and Studio Ghibli films like Spirited Away to be satanic because they believe those things promote witchcraft and bad spirits. All of which I grew up with and have sentimentalism towards. If I was raised in a fundamentalist Christian home, I probably would have hated all those things, but that's not the case with me. Because of my sentimentalism, I have a tendency to just ignore the bad stuff and enjoy all the good things I liked about them and just be entertained. So when these Christians would tell me that the things I enjoy are bad, I also have a tendency to take it personally, even if they don't actually hate me as a person. But I don't hate these people either, as I can see where these people are coming from. Another matter to discuss is hypocrisy. The people that speak out the most against certain things are the ones that have experienced it themselves. Because of their experience, they don't want other people to get sucked into the same things they got sucked into as well. But because they enjoy the things that they condemn, nobody will take them seriously, because of course, they are seen as hypocrites that don't practice what they preach. To be honest, while I am very sentimental, I have also been known to preach against things with witchcraft and bad spirits. In my Magic the Gathering video, I preached against Magic the Gathering because I felt compelled to show the bad stuff in it and the dangers surrounding it, and also present biblical evidence against it. Long after I made the video though, I realized that I still have sentimentalism for the game, and that I enjoy it even if it has questionable stuff in it, and it made me realize that I'm a hypocrite that's no better than Christians that like things like Harry Potter, which is another thing I grew up with but now I have a tendency to condemn because of the witchcraft thing. I recently bought a Magic the Gathering Ixalan deck in hopes of getting back into Magic the Gathering because of how much fun I had with it before. I'm making this confession because I want to be honest with everyone, because I know that the people that really liked my Magic the Gathering video will be upset and disappointed with me for enjoying it anyway. And the people that didn't like my Magic the Gathering video will just dislike me even more because I turned out to be a hypocrite after all. I made this video not just to confess my hypocrisy, but also to explain why we act sentimental and why we act like hypocrites, so that we can all understand each other better. Yes, I'm the head of my own ministry on YouTube, and I have a responsibility, but like everyone else, I am not guiltless. I have my own sins and life struggles and problems that I'm dealing with. Not everyone is going to agree with me, nor am I always going to agree with certain people. I'm not above everyone else just because I own this ministry. I am still a sinner that needs Jesus, and I am just part of Christ's body that needs other believers to lean on, that will hold me responsible and help me in purifying myself and becoming more like Christ. And I also hope that by being a better example, I can build all the rest of you up as well, even if we aren't going to agree on absolutely everything. Anyway, before I ramble on further, that's all I can say on this subject. Thanks for reading this all the way through, and thanks for bearing with me. This concludes another episode of Godly Dragon Ramblings, and you all have a blessed evening. God bless everyone.